Well, happy Thursday to those who are watching. I am Pastor Don Wolf here at Cornerstone Worship Center in Vestaburg, Michigan. And today it is raining.
Yes.
And it's supposed to do this all day. But as I've said many times, you don't want to shovel rain.
That's right.
So that is much better. And today it's Pastor, I want to say Janelle.
Not Janelle.
Jennifer, she's been here 4 or 5 years, and
I've been here 10 years.
You've been here 10 years? No wonder my sanity has escaped.
Michelle and I were just talking about that the other day. It's been 10 years.
Oh, I can't believe it.
I know.
Wow, 10 years, and I'm still here.
Right. Right.
Anyway, we want to talk to you about 2 or 3 things today, and one of them's really exciting. And as most of you know, if you've followed us for any length of time, we are part of Anchor Bay Evangelistic Association, and all of our pastors are part of the organization. And I have the privilege of serving on the board as the first vice president, so I pray daily for our president. And so but I don't want his position for anything.
Right.
But anyway, one of the things, or should I say a couple of things that the board of Anchor Bay decided last year is that we was going to go into establishing schools. And this is just a brochure. I know you can't see it, but this says Anchor Bay Evangelistic Association, School of the Bible. First of all, let me say this. We have in our board, we have a person who sets up schools in churches. And so if you're ever interested, just let me know or contact Anchor Bay, and they'll be glad to assist you in that. And that's for students. But we have a school for those who want to train people to be pastors. And we have decided to venture into Uganda, Africa. And we have a man there by the name of Felix. And Felix, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I can't pronounce your last name. But he's a good brother. Love him dearly. I've known him since about 2013, I think, something like that. And we've worked together with him ever since. He's a great man of God. And he's actually, you may not know this, Felix, maybe you do, but you are our test case. He's the very first one, and what we call this Train the Trainer program. And what we're going to do with him over the next few months is train him to start a school to train pastors. And I'm excited about it. And it's going to be interesting to see how it develops. And I just talked to our president just a few minutes ago, and I discussed this with him. We're thinking seriously, and I've told you this, Felix, but we're thinking seriously about bringing Felix back in June.
Yes.
To
Amen.
go to our convention and allow him to speak about what this program's done for him. And that's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think he just fainted. But I'll be talking to you later, Felix. Anyway, this Train the Trainer program, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It is. Ever since I've known Felix, he's wanted to have a school. Mm-hmm. And if there's any man who's got that much desire to do something,
right,
needs a little assistance, and that's what we're going to assist him in getting this accomplished. And he's well embedded with our contact in Florida.
Yeah.
See, our headquarters is in Leavenworth, Kansas.
Yes.
But the one board member lives in Florida, who's our treasurer, and he's the one that's starting all of this. Yeah. And man works hard. Mm-hmm. And he demands perfection. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be interesting to see what takes place. Have you discussed this with Felix at all?
I have not talked about this with Felix.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
gonna be excited for sure.
Oh, yeah, well, I've been getting message, because he's been talking with Paula.
Okay,
Because Paula is our, secretary. And she, has been working with him. She'll be the coordinator with Felix
Yeah.
on this. And she'll also be the one who takes care of all the tests and all that type of thing. And talk about a quality gal.
yeah. I've talked to Paula a little bit when we were talking about, like shipping things over to Felix and those kinds of things.
Right. And we do have a little bit of a problem there, but we'll get a handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I have to turn it all over to you.
No.
But we, as an organization, and I'm talking about this church, but it involves this church because we're part of Anchor Bay.
Right.
Education through Jesus Christ is so important.
Yeah.
Not only for us here, but for the third world everywhere. You haven't had the privilege yet of being overseas, but you'd be shocked in this relationship. You come back appreciating everything we got.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yes, yes. And so, I don't know. Maybe we should send you to Africa to take the books.
Let's pray about that one.
Well, apparently Felix has already tried to get Paula.
Oh, really?
Yes, and Paula says, and he said, I could speak. She said, I don't speak. Anyway, that I wanted to announce that program because it's fantastic. And again, if you think your church would be interested in starting a school, and I'm not, if pastor school is fine, but if you're thinking about just starting from, I think it's open, we got from kindergarten to 12th grade.
I think so.
I think that's what it is. I have to admit, I'm ignorant what the program is, other than what I've heard in some of our
Right,
meetings.
right.
And, but in June, we're gonna get all the details. Because I've often thought, well, I don't wanna go there. Not now, anyway. And so, another thing, I'm sitting here doing all the talking.
That's okay.
We got a men's conference, ABA does, coming up. It's going to be the 30th of March to the 1st of April. I got the wrong.
You do, but that's okay.
Yeah, the 30th.
You've added days to the year.
Yeah, yes, I did. 33 days in March, about the 30th through the 4th. And actually, to be honest about it, I'd love to be there for that. And I'm still thinking about it.
Thinking about it.
But it is 800 miles
Yes.
from here to there. And of course, there's all these airlines.
There is airlines.
And I still got a whole lot of flight. So that's a possibility. And we don't have to wear a mask anymore. And that's encouraging.
You can always take Pastor Mike and Leroy with you and you'd make it there in no time.
That's
There
a
you
thought,
go.
though. That's a good
Yes.
thought. Next week, plant that seed.
Plant that seed? Okay,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. Now, this weekend, you're going somewhere.
Yes, I'm going to Illinois this weekend.
Where are you going?
I'm going to, the town that I'm going to be staying in is called Paw Paw,
Okay, not familiar with
but
that.
it's just about an hour from Aurora, which is about an hour from Chicago.
You're right. Aurora, I'm familiar with.
Yep.
There's a, I think it's Western Illinois, got a college there. Next to Aurora, and I don't remember the name of the town. And many years ago, I was there for 3 weeks, getting a special certificate in the college. And that's about, and I used to live there too.
Okay.
I lived in the Chicago area for a year When I came back from Korea, I had a year to go, and they sent me to Fort Sheridan.
Okay.
I had to stop thinking of the fort. And, now, what's the attraction for you to go there?
Well, one, my daughter's out there,
Okay.
but she's getting married in September, and so we're doing dress fitting this weekend and some wedding stuff. I know, it's a mom thing, so I'm just gonna go spend some time with her this weekend.
Okay, you coming back when?
I'll be back, like 1 a.m. Monday morning.
No, and you have to be here at 7.
Yeah, ish.
That is. Now, she can get away with it, because Saturday,
Yes.
we are leaving.
Correct.
My wife and I and Pastor Rachel and her husband Mike. We're heading down to Florida for a few days. My wife's other daughter lives in Florida with LJ.
Mm-hmm.
And many of you that are watching know LJ and Becky. And I think they moved down there 3 years ago.
I think so.
I think it was 3 years ago. So now this is our 3rd year going down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's enjoyable to get out of this weather for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do not like to drive down there in this time of the year.
Right.
But we've been blessed, and then only one time did we run into any bad weather.
Hence the reason I'm taking the train to Illinois. I'm not driving in any weather.
Yeah, but you gotta drive down.
Just to Grand Rapids, so
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Oh.
It's not bad.
Well, this weekend it's supposed to be
Right.
good weather, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then your daughter is in college,
My youngest daughter, yes.
and she is going to,
She's at Grand Valley in Grand Rapids.
which is, it's on the western side.
Yeah, it's in Allendale,
Okay,
so southwest.
yeah. And this is her first year.
This is her first year.
Actually, she wanted originally to go up north.
Yeah.
To the UP.
Yes.
And I haven't asked her, but I think she's glad she chose that, because she's home nearly every weekend.
She is home nearly every weekend.
And if she was in a UP, she would not be
That's
home
right.
every weekend.
That's right,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I know when we were talking about it, she had asked if they ever closed the Mackinac Bridge.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
said, yes. And she says, well, how do I get home if they close the Mackinac Bridge? I said, you don't. So that may have deterred her a little bit.
Has she ever heard of Wisconsin, Illinois,
Yeah.
Indiana, and then Michigan?
Yeah, we had that conversation too, but.
Yeah, that's a long, long
It is.
ways.
It's a long ways to drive to come home for a day and a half, so.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say so.
Yeah.
Because that's a long, long
Yes.
day drive.
Yes,
And in this time of year, it may be a week drive.
right?
Okay. Let's see. I want to report on this. Oh, no, let me talk about this first. In June 20 and 21, we're having our annual convention, APA convention.
Right.
And this year, we're going back to Leavenworth again. For those of you who don't know, Leavenworth has a enormous, beautiful attraction. It's a military prison that's been there since the 1800s.
Yeah.
It's a big place. And my understanding is only the worst wind up there. And, but it's a very fair-sized town. And that's where our headquarters is. And we do, and the president of this organization has a church there, and we use his church, which is a very unusual church. It is an old building too.
Yeah.
It's been there since 18-something. And it's the way it's laid out.
Yeah.
It's a little bit awkward, but it works.
It
So
works.
as long as it works. So we'll be there. Now, what are our plans for getting, let me just say this first. We always have 10 to 15 or 20 people from this church who goes
Right.
to the
Yeah.
convention.
So, we haven't put out feelers yet to see how many people are planning on going this year, which
Probably
we'll probably
need-
do
yeah.
soon. But we usually leave on Monday early Monday morning, get out there, Monday late, early afternoon, late, whatever, depending on how many stops we have to make between here and there.
Remember, we got a lot of women going.
And then we do the convention. I know that you and I plan a lot of walking with the Lord interviews while we're there, and
Right.
I'm hoping that we can get a lot of people that are willing to do that.
I think we can.
And they've actually given us a room, I understand, this year, or a place to be able to set up so we can do those and schedule them through. But we'll do the convention, depending on what time allows. Sometimes we try and do an activity with just our group, something that we can do together. The women always go shopping. We find somewhere to go. Last year we ventured into Kansas City and went shopping in Kansas City, so.
For those who don't know, and that's probably most of you, I was born in Kansas City, Missouri. And when we were 10 years old, I got set free. We moved. It's changed.
Yes, yes.
I went in the neighborhood, and I guess it was, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years ago, when we were in Kansas City for another reason. We decided to, or I decided to drive over to the Swope Park area, which is where we lived. Boy, then it was all residential. Now it's all business.
Wow.
Where I think the block where we lived next to the corner. I think I found it, and that was the J.C. Penney's. But anyway, we will be in Kansas City, and we hope to.
No, we'll be in Leavenworth.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We will be in Leavenworth, and I don't know if we'll go out to the ranch this time or not. Since now they got.
But
goats.
they've made different changes and stuff, and they're constantly adding. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. They have horses, and now they've added goats.
Goats.
And what it is, it's they bring the kids from the Kansas City area who's, just was raised in the city, hasn't been out of the city, doesn't really know what farm life is about, and they take them out, and I believe it's for a day, and let them just ride the horses, pet the horses. Now I guess they can get run over by the goats. It's just a fun area for
Right.
them, and I can see how they would appreciate it.
Yeah. I know they have, I think it's one Saturday a month that they just kind of open the ranch up, and people can just kind of come and just spend the day out there. And
It's hilly.
it is hilly.
Yes.
It is hilly. You're going to get a workout when you go. But it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it last year when we were back there. Before we came back, we went out to it and spent, I don't know, maybe a couple hours
Couple
out there.
hours, yeah.
Seeing what they had. And it was enjoyable. I was glad to leave though, because I was kind of anxious to get on the road. Started heading home.
Right.
Because again, 800 miles takes about 16 hours. And that's a long time to be in a van with church people.
It's because I don't put you in the fun van.
Yeah, we usually have two vans. And I want the one you can sleep in.
And I'm not in that van. We don't sleep much in my van.
No. There's the other thing that you and Michelle, Pastor Michelle and Jennifer are over our youth. And here in the last few months, they've got involved in an organization called Impact Outreach. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Impact Outreach is an organization that really has a heart for the youth in the area, in the central Michigan area. They don't want to take over youth groups. They don't want to be the center of what the youth do, but they want to come alongside. Their goal is to come alongside existing youth groups and help them with the kids, help them with whatever resources that they need. They have an event once a month where all the kids in the area can come. We have games. They have a small sermon. Of course, we feed them, because if you have anything to do with youth kids, you feed them.
And old men.
You feed them. And they have a sermon. We break up into small groups. You really get to know the kids. But the kids that are invited may not have their own youth group. So it's a way for us to bring in all of these kids, but then now we can plug them into local youth groups. You know, whatever's closer for them, or if they've, if I've made a connection with a certain child at the impact meetings, then I can say, hey, why don't you just come with us, and the other 3 weekends a month, then we'll do, incorporate them into our youth group. And just a great organization, a great group of people, to listen to their testimony and how it came about is amazing.
Yes.
They have a big heart for kids and the teens and the young adults, because I think sometimes that's the group that kind of gets left out. We
Right.
focus on the little kids in church, and you have all the activities, the Sunday school and the children's church and all of that, but then the youth kids okay, well, you're going to sit in the service with the adults, even though they're maybe not comprehending at the level the adults are. But, so yeah. Like I said, an amazing organization. Pastor Steve does a great job, and Pastor Josh, and I don't remember the other one's name, forgive me. But yeah, so yeah, I'm really glad we got connected with that.
Yeah, was it in January that they had the adults or
Their
the
banquet.
leaders
Yeah.
meeting?
Yes.
And my wife and I went to that one along with Jennifer and yourself. Michelle and yourself.
Right.
And got to meet the people.
Yeah.
And I was impressed. I truly was. Be honest about it. I was not only impressed with the leadership that they have there, but I was impressed with the building that we met in.
Oh, I know. The way the story behind the building is
Yes.
just amazing.
Yes.
How they acquired the building and.
And it's paid for.
Yes.
Think about that. They started this 3 years ago,
Yes.
and they now have a church building that I'm going to guess from what I could see inside, it's probably about 30 years old,
Probably
maybe
close.
40.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody stepped up and said, you need a building, here it is, and here's the title.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever you really give your all to God.
And that's the
It's
other
amazing.
thing. And that's the other thing that amazes me. You know that it's God ordained, because we went to that banquet. They
Yes.
didn't charge you anything for the banquet.
Nope.
They didn't take up an offering. They didn't do a free will, nothing.
Right.
You go to the kids' games and the kids' meetings, and they don't put anything out to take an offering from the kids or ask the kids to donate anything. It's funded. It's
Yes.
100% funded by local men of God,
Yes.
businesses of God.
Right.
And if God wasn't at the center of that, in the days that we're living in, I really think they would be struggling to
Yeah.
keep
Oh,
doors
yes.
open and to do what they're doing.
Yes.
So,
No, it's fantastic.
yeah,
Now, the next meeting is the end of this month.
yes. Now, Michelle and I will not be going to that one, only because you won't be here and someone has to run the church. So we will not be going to that one. And actually, I think Michelle may be preaching that night anyway here, so.
Go second change.
Right, but we're still in contact with Pastor Steve, and just letting him know if we can't make it.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean something can't change, and if we have kids that really want to go, then we'll make it work.
You're right.
And we'll get the kids there, so.
Well, how about March?
I don't have the date in March.
Okay.
We'll have to look and see. And I know that we didn't have the dates when we did the preaching schedule in early January. So now that we have the dates that go out through June, I think, we can look at that.
Yeah, I believe they do.
Yeah. So, and then in the summer, they kind of switch gears from completely youth-oriented to family-oriented, and they go back to their tent meetings and do the tent meetings back-to-back weekends, for one weekend for youth and then the next weekend for the whole family.
Yeah, I was talking to Murphy,
Yeah.
Bishop Murphy,
Mm-hmm.
because I know they're trying to find a location in Saginaw.
Mm-hmm.
And he was enthusiastic about it. I had forgotten to advise them to get hold of Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
So remind me when we get back,
Sure.
or you can
Mm-hmm.
contact him
Right.
either way. He even thought about his parking lot, but that just wouldn't work because there'd be no
Right.
place to park after
Right.
that. I mean, but he's got a big parking lot, but the time to get all the tents up and all.
Right.
But he was very anxious
Mm-hmm.
to get involved in at least in that Saginaw area.
Right, right.
And so we need to make sure that contact is
Mhm.
made.
Okay.
There's so many things that we got going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to admit, my memory isn't as good as it used to be, and it used to be horrible. So I had to write everything down, otherwise I really do forget it.
Mhm.
Speaking of Dr. Murphy, Pastor Mike and I went over, he holds his services on Saturday. And last weekend, Pastor Mike and I went over there and for this service. And we got, shall I say, brought into doing 4 programs for him. And they were enjoyable, believe me. With one of my favorite pastors, Herb, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name, but he has a church in Warren, Michigan, and which I'm going to be going down to one of these days. When I get back, I want to set the date, because I haven't been to his church probably since you've been working for me anyway. So it's been 5-6 years at the most, and we have a good time when we go down there.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we really do. So we had to set that up.
Right.
But I just want to briefly mention, because I think we're running out of time. We do a whole, and we've said this so many times, we do a whole lot of things on the internet. One is this,
Mm-hmm.
and this has been a fantastic success. We have been doing this, I figured it up today, 15 months.
Wow.
And for the 15 months we've been doing this, we have had over 20,500 visitors on the internet. That's amazing
Yeah,
for
it is.
a small church in a small town with some clowns.
Just a few of us.
Yeah, there's a few. And we have started a teaching, which we do on Friday. And I had to write these down because I'm not familiar with them. We have done 15 weeks of that. And in
Really?
15 weeks, we've had over 2,500.
Wow.
It's not to this status this is, but it's something we just started.
Correct.
And well, I'm impressed with that. That's big numbers. And if you haven't tried that, Friday, late in the afternoon, we come on, and it's a half-hour program. You may enjoy it, you may not, but we want you to know that. And then we've got to get back to Dr. Richard Murphy program. And what this is, first of all, it's a TV program. but he releases it after it hits TV into Facebook.
Right.
And on the Facebook, we have had over 3,000 hits. Out of the 15 programs we've done, boy, 15's a big
It's a
number.
big number.
Of the 15 programs we have done for them. And that's exciting, because through the TV, he's open to having 1 billion viewers. Now, we have no idea how many viewers are on that.
No,
I imagine if we ask him, he could give us an estimate, but it's not important.
right.
But it allows us to meet a few more people than we have here on Sunday morning.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we're thankful to God for that.
yes.
And let me just say this, that if you're faithful to God, he'll be faithful to you.
Yes.
And thank you, Jennifer, for joining me in this. And may the Lord richly bless every one of you.